Welcome to L208, Health and Literature. In this video, we're going to be going over some of the nuts and bolts of the course, if you will. And I'll start with an introduction. My name is Professor Gustafson, and I'll be your instructor in this course. I'm an assistant professor of English literature at IU Northwest, where I teach courses in British literature, children's literature, and composition. My own area of research specialization is in 18th century literature, young adult literature, and children's literature. I've also been really interested in the intersection between health, illness, medicine, and literature since about 2004. So this course has been a long time in preparation. I'm very excited to be teaching this course, which is a new course offering at IUN, and I'm excited for a couple of reasons. One is that, as I mentioned, I've had a longstanding interest in the relationship between illness and literature, what we often call now medical humanities. In addition, this course will serve two different departments. It is part of the English department, but if you take this course, you can also earn credit towards a new program that we've created this year called a Medical Humanities Minor. And if you're interested in learning more about the Medical Humanities Minor, please make an appointment to see me. I'm more than happy to talk with you about that minor and ways in which that minor can just enhance your studies while you're at IUN. All right, so what I want to do right now is think about the course in a little bit more detail. As you might have noticed from the advertisements, in this course, we're going to be studying the intersection between literature, illness, and medicine. In other words, between health and medicine. Now, at first glance, these categories really don't seem to have very much in common. But literature both records and also interrogates the way in which societies think about things like illness, injury, pain, and medical treatment. And so some questions that we're going to be considering are things like, can language actually capture the experience of pain and illness, or at least capture it in enough detail to allow for people to understand and ameliorate it? Can literature help patients and practitioners understand medical treatment and medical problems in ways that they might not normally understand them? And can writing ameliorate a patient's suffering? Could it even act as some kind of a cure? We're going to be exploring questions like this through reading a diverse range of literature, paying particular attention to the historical, social, and cultural implications of various medical conditions and also treatments. So from early modern stories about the plague to modern philosophies about pain, we're going to explore the role of literature in the evolution of ideas about human health. We have a couple of goals in this class. By the end of the semester, we're going to better understand how language and illness intersect. We're also going to be thinking about the role of literature in both recording and interrogating illness and treatment, that is, the way that people experience, think about, and treat medical conditions. We'll become more aware of how cultural, historical, and gender differences impact health and medical treatment. We're going to gain a better understanding of the perspective of doctors and also patients. And we're going to learn to write well-reasoned, persuasive arguments that utilize close reading in order to make their cases. Now, what I'd like to do right now is explore our Canvas website. This is particularly important as this is an online course. So if you look at the screen, this is what our course website looks like. If you look on the left-hand side under Spring 2018, what you'll notice is a series of tabs: the Home tab, the Syllabus tab, the Modules tab, the Grades tab, the Peoples tab, and so on and so forth. As you click on these various tabs, they'll take you to the things that you'll need to get started in this course. Probably one of the most important tabs that you'll be looking at is the Modules tab, although I believe this tab also just pops up on your home page. When you get to the Modules tab, what you'll notice on the right-hand side is a category that says Week 1, and then there's a series of items. The first is What's Up in Week 1, which is going to have our goals for the week and also your tasks. Then you'll also have usually a lecture here. It's our Getting Started lecture, a syllabus quiz afterwards for this week, a reading, a discussion board, which you'll have each and every week, and then any assignment folders as well for any formal assignments that we might have. Now I'm only going to put out each week at a time so that we can follow the course sequentially. I'm also going to ask that you don't skip around within the week, that you follow the tabs as they've been set up. And what you'll notice, I'll give you an example. If I click on what's up in week 1, you'll see that we have our goals and our tasks. I can click next, and that's going to take me to the next item that I need to look at. Now, in addition to the modules tab, I also wanted to take a look at the syllabus tab. What you'll notice in this tab, again on this right-hand side, is a Word document to download, which is your syllabus. I'm going to go ahead and download it. This syllabus is your go-to document for this course. It has all the pertinent information in the course, our course schedule, assignment descriptions, and also all of our policies. So we're going to take a look, I should say, at a few of these. First of all, at the top, it'll give you the course number. As a note in your transcript, the description for this course may be topics in English and American Lit and Culture, but we're going to know this course as Health and Literature. In addition, it has my information in case you need to get in touch with me. My name, Professor Kate Gustafson, my email address, my office phone number, my office number, which is Hawthorne Hall 403, my Zoom handle, in case you want to have an online video meeting with me, and my office hours, which this semester are Tuesday and Thursday from 11:30 to 2:30. And please note that during my office hours times, I'm available both online through Zoom and also in my office. And if you want to speak to me through Zoom, it's very easy. You would copy and paste my Zoom handle into your web browser, and it will take you immediately to my virtual office. A little farther below, we have the course description. We also have the course goals, which we've already gone over. There's a list of course materials. Most of the materials listed are available at the IU bookstore. If you would prefer to order them online, you may do so. I've given the name of the ISBN number and also the publisher. As a note, if you'd like, you don't have to purchase the last item, which is the movie Contagion. You can certainly download that through Netflix or through Amazon if you prefer. Now, for any item that has an asterisk next to it in our reading list, that means that it's available to you as a PDF or as a link. And then required technologies for this course include access to a computer that has the latest version of either Internet Safari or Google Chrome. I would recommend Google Chrome. Access to a printer, and access to Microsoft Office. You can access all of these things on campus if you don't have access to them at home. Now on page 2 is our class schedule, although each week's tasks will also be in your course modules. You can go through these on your own time. I just want to note that we do have weeks where we have a couple of different readings, and in those weeks I've itemized with 1 and 2 what should be read first and second. And again, an asterisk marks any work where we have it as a PDF or an online link. So this goes on for a couple of pages. Here's our grade breakdown. Your grade will be determined as follows: through a syllabus quiz, through 3 cogitation papers, I'll get to that in a moment, 2 close reading papers, 1 PowerPoint presentation, and your discussion board posts for a total of 650 points. And I've included a grading scale, which is available for your close reading papers, PowerPoint presentations, and your final grade. So let's go through what these assignments look like. I want to start with the discussion board. Now I know that going through the syllabus is not the world's most interesting thing, but I would ask that you pay attention. It's really important to know the course's policies, and in addition, you're going to be taking a syllabus quiz, so pay attention. in particular to the discussion board assignment. Every single week, you're going to write 4 discussion board posts. These will be due by Sunday of that week. 2 of those posts will answer weekly discussion board questions that I will be posing. And 2 of the posts are meant to respond to other people's posts in order to enable a discussion to take place. So here's some baseline rules for this project. Your entries should be posted on at least 2 separate days, and they should be posted in a timely manner. The discussion board is a community learning effort. It's one of the main ways in which we're going to be learning in this course. So everyone is responsible for creating a good discussion, and late posts detract from everybody's ability to respond and to learn and to further our conversation. So for this reason, I'm going to be deducting points if all your posts occur at the very end of the week. For example, if they all occur on Saturday or on Sunday. Similarly, I'm going to be deducting points if you submit all of your posts to the discussion board on one day. For example, if I find all 4 posts written on a Tuesday and that's it, because it's not participating in an ongoing asynchronous discussion. Other rules. You need to post 4 times every week. Failure to post for 2 weeks in a row or sporadic posting may lead to failure or expulsion from this course. You're not going to be allowed makeup posts. If week 1 goes by, you don't happen to post in week 1, you can't go back and post to week 1. Similarly, if you post, twice as much in week 2 to make up for those lost posts, those aren't going to count towards week 1. Your post should be a minimum of 100 words, even when you're responding to other people. Your post should be civil and respectful. You can disagree, that's fine. But you need to do so in a thoughtful way that seeks to understand your views and those of others. Uncivil, inappropriate, disruptive, or baiting comments are not going to be tolerated and may lead to expulsion from the discussion board. Your post must engage intellectually and specifically with our readings and questions, and this is really crucially important. Ideally, I want you to be quoting when necessary from our readings to back up your assertions or illustrate your point. Discussion board posts are actually a great place to begin to utilize close reading, so please feel free to do so within your discussion boards. And finally, quotations and attributions. When quoting or paraphrasing from another source, including other people, you need to be sure to follow MLA citation guidelines. At a bare minimum, that means citing the person or author that you're referencing, and then when quoting or paraphrasing from a text, including a parenthetical page reference. If you have any questions about how to use MLA citation styles, you're welcome to ask me. In addition, I've also included the name of a website called Purdue OWL. It's Purdue's online writing lab, and they have an excellent series on the MLA style guide. Now, in terms of grading, I'm going to be grading your post quickly, but carefully and generously. I'm not looking for flawlessness in your posts. I'm looking for evidence and signs of intellectual life. Clear evidence of having read carefully and engaged with our course materials is absolutely a must. Your posts are going to be graded on the following scale. A 3 means that the post is exceptionally well developed. It engages with the class, it pushes beyond obvious ideas, it goes into detail and depth, it'll quote where necessary, and it will unpack those quotations that it closely read to illustrate ideas. Number 2, or 2 points, is a post that meets our expectations by answering our questions, but it will be less developed, less carefully rendered, or less analytical than a 3-point post. Keep in mind, though, that a post that's long but careless or redundant or shallow in its thinking will not necessarily receive a higher grade. The grade is really about the quality of those posts. 1 point is for posts that are really short. Such posts may show few signs of understanding or thinking very seriously about our readings. It may also be full of really easily identifiable errors in either understanding or just in terms of its writing. While it's okay to write your posts in a conversational, informal way, you want to make sure that your posts are still grammatically correct and clear in terms of how you can read them, or clear and easily readable in terms of its prose, in terms of its writing. Now, finally, 0 points is for a post that is missing, that violates decorum, or that is so short and underdeveloped or off topic that it really doesn't participate in our weekly conversation. So that's our discussion board posts. Please let me know if you have any questions. Let's talk for a moment about our cogitation papers. These are due on January 21st, March 4th, and March 25th. You have 3 of them. They're 3 short papers of about 1 to 2 pages each. And I've called these cogitation papers because they're designed to allow you to think more deeply about some of the issues that we've been discussing. Again, these papers can be a little more informal in tone than your close reading papers. But as with your discussion board posts, you should still proofread them to make sure that your ideas are clearly expressed, well organized, and free of grammatical or spelling errors. For these papers, you're going to receive a numeric grade, but little or no feedback from me. Your third assignment is a close reading paper. You'll have 2 of them. They're going to be due on February 11th and April 15th. These 2 close reading papers should be 2 to 4 pages each. Now, whereas your cogitation papers are informal thought exercises, your close reading papers will be more formal. And their purpose is twofold: to think through issues that we've discussed in the course through analyzing 1 or maybe 2 literary texts, and to analyze those texts using close reading tools, which we'll be learning about this semester. And then your final project is a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, and we're going to choose up dates for when you will be presenting. So you're going to be asked this semester to provide a 5 to 10 minute PowerPoint presentation in which you're going to closely read a very short passage from our weekly reading. And the purpose of this assignment is to allow you to closely read in a verbal rather than written format. Your goal is to show us something about the passage that you think will enable us as a class to better understand the work as a whole, or that you think will spark a really good discussion. Now, you can narrate your presentation using PowerPoint's audio feature, or by using another program such as Adobe Presenter Video Express, which interfaces with PowerPoint. I'll be giving you more instructions on this assignment as we go through this course. But as a note, your presentation should be uploaded by Monday morning of the week that you're scheduled to present. Now, I want to go through a few course policies, and then we'll look at some university policies. So first is written assignments. This includes discussion board posts. Please note that I only accept formal assignments in Microsoft Word as .doc, or .docx. Discussion board posts are the exception because you're going to type them into Canvas. You can download Microsoft Office if you don't have it on your computer from IUTS, from Tech Services, and I've included a link. Also, because I get questions about this a lot, all your papers should be double-spaced. They should be written in 12-point Times New Roman font and have 1-inch margins on all sides. You don't have to include a cover page, but you should provide a very short header with your name, the date, and the assignment. All papers also should be using MLA style and citation guidelines, and those can again be found at Purdue OWL. Now, I always get questioned about late work and extensions. Here's my policy. For discussion board posts, you're not allowed to turn in discussion board posts after the week has passed. And obviously, failure to post promptly or completely each week is going to result in a lowered grade. In terms of papers, I understand that personal emergencies can arise. So I am happy to grant you an extension on an essay for exceptional circumstances. But you must contact me before the assignment's due date. And a couple hours before the assignment's due date doesn't actually count. So if you don't get an extension on a paper and you don't turn it in right away, it'll be counted as late. Here's my policy on late papers. Your cogitation papers will be docked by 5 points for each day that they're late, unless you've received an extension from me. Your close reading papers will be docked 10 points for each day that they're late, unless you received an extension from me. So, rule of thumb, if you know you're not going to get something in on time, talk to me about it beforehand. I am happy to grant extensions, and I much prefer to grant extensions than to dock points. All right, communication. To be successful in this class, you're going to need to check your IUN or your IU email account regularly. I would suggest checking it once a day because that's how I send out updates. And if you need to contact me, you can do so obviously in office hours, but also via email or over the phone. If you email or call me, though, please allow 24 hours for me to get back to you and 48 hours on the weekend. All right, now from here, I'm going to just look at a couple of university policies to make sure that you know them. I'm not going to go through them very quickly. I'm going to go through a couple others in a little bit more detail. In terms of university policies, first is the right for accommodation for students with disabilities. So IU is committed to creating a learning environment, an academic community that promotes educational opportunities for all individuals, including those with disabilities. So as a course director, as a professor, I am happy to make reasonable accommodations upon request by my students or by the university for disabilities. However, it's your responsibility if you need accommodations to seek them basically by providing documentation either to me or to the student support services office. And again, Indiana University will make reasonable accommodations for access to programs, services, and facilities. If you need to contact student support services, I've included their location, which is Hawthorne Hall 239, and their telephone number, as well as their website. Diversity. Both IUN and I are committed to creating a climate in the classroom that fosters and welcomes opinions and people of diverse ethnic, racial, religious, and cultural backgrounds. This climate's beneficial in helping make each of us comfortable in the classroom and in allowing each of us to learn about each other's beliefs and customs. And for a course about health and literature that examines the way in which different cultures and genders and groups perceive health and literature, it is absolutely key. It's a key part of how we're going to learn. Number 3 is sexual misconduct. Indiana University does not tolerate acts of sexual misconduct. This includes sexual harassment and all forms of sexual violence. If you've experienced sexual misconduct or know someone who has, the university can help. It's important to know that federal regulations and university policy require faculty to promptly report incidences of potential sexual misconduct that are known to them to Deputy Title IX coordinators to ensure that all appropriate measures are taken and all resources are made available. The university will work with you to ensure to protect your privacy by sharing information with those who need. Basically, the university is going to protect your privacy by sharing information with those that need to know to ensure that we can respond and assist. If you're seeking help and you want to speak to someone confidentially, you can make an appointment with a counselor at IU Northwest. Their counseling center is Hawthorne Hall 201. And for more information about sexual violence and campus and community resources, I've also included a website. There's some information about pregnancy in Title IX that might be helpful. Students that need accommodation that are related to pregnancy or post-pregnancy and parenting should contact Campus Student Support Services. And again, I've included their office, which is Hawthorne Hall 239, their phone number, and their website. A couple more of these policies, I know they're not the most interesting, but they are important. Number 5 is the early alert system that IUN has, which is called FLAGS. I'm going to be using FLAGS to provide feedback on your performance in this course. So periodically throughout the semester, I enter in data on FLAGS on things like your class attendance, your participation, whether or not you're keeping up with your coursework. And this information can help provide information on how you're faring in the course and offer suggestions for how you can improve. You can access this information at 1.iu under the Student Center. you click on My Academics and Grades. Incompletes. I do allow students to take incompletes in the course if exceptional circumstances arise. But in order to take an incomplete, you must be in good standing in the class, and you must have a grade of C or higher. So please see me if an incomplete becomes necessary. And finally, or almost finally, is the course evaluation. A lot of students disregard course evaluations as an optional part of the course, especially in online courses, because we're usually pretty tired by the end of the course. But at IUN, and especially for online classes, completing the course evaluations actually isn't optional. It's required. Your input, suggestions, and opinions matter, and they're taken really, really seriously. We can't continue to promote online course offerings if students don't complete their course evaluations, because departments are held accountable for having adequate response rates, and instructors are affected by low response rates. So please understand at the end of the semester that it's part of your job to complete the course evaluation. All right, and then there's some information on technology, which I want to get to in a little bit more detail, actually, in a PowerPoint presentation that I have created for you. So here's the last few policies for us to think about. One is attendance. A lot of students ask me about attendance in online courses. Basically, in an online course, your attendance is measured by your completion of discussion board posts and by turning in your assignments. So you have to complete the discussion board each week. As you know, if you miss 2 consecutive weeks of discussion board, you risk failing the course or being expelled from it. In addition, though, this course participates in IUN's course commitment policy. What that means is that you will be administratively withdrawn from the course by the registrar if you miss the first week of classes, or if you miss 50% of your classes and or assignments during the first 4 weeks of the semester. An administrative withdrawal can affect your visa status and also your financial aid. So please see the website that I've included here for further information. 2 more things that I want to take a look at. One is plagiarism and academic honesty. A cornerstone of this course is that you're going to be acknowledging other people's ideas and you're going to be representing them honestly. We're going to talk in your papers about how to do that. But because this is such an important part of this course, plagiarism will not be tolerated. Plagiarism can include turning in work that's not your own, turning in work that fails to cite its sources, including paraphrased materials or materials that are found on the internet, or turning in work that you've written for another course. Oddly enough, that actually is considered plagiarism. Students who, for whatever reason, submit plagiarized work may end up failing the assignment, they may fail the course, or they may be referred to IUN's disciplinary officers, where they can face anything from suspension to even expulsion. If you have any questions regarding plagiarism, please see me or please ask a reference librarian. And the final piece from our syllabus is technology. In order to complete this course, you need to have access to a computer that has high-speed internet and an up-to-date internet browser. I found that Canvas works best on Google Chrome, so I would suggest downloading that internet browser if you don't already have it. Secondly, you're going to need Microsoft Office so that you can write your papers using Microsoft Word and so that you can create a PowerPoint presentation. You can download Microsoft Office for free from IT services. And third, you need an IUN or an IU email account, and you need to check it every single day. Now, occasionally problems do arise with technology. If you have any questions or problems throughout the semester, please contact the IT help desk. Their phone number is 219-981-4357. They can be emailed at iunhelp@iun.edu. They are available 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they're incredibly helpful. All right, last issue then is the question of how to be successful in an online course. And I bring this up because I've taught online courses a few times now, and I oftentimes find that students begin the course thinking that an online course is going to be really easy because of its accessibility. And why wouldn't they? They see commercials on television that talk about online programs, and they emphasize how you can learn on the go. They show pictures of students completing coursework on their iPhones while waiting for the bus. So students oftentimes think they can complete the course in really super small snippets of time whenever they happen to have a minute. Just kind of like how you might check Instagram. The reality, though, is a little bit different. It's true that you can access this course on your own schedule, but successful completion of an online course is a little bit more complicated than that. Even more so than a face-to-face class, online courses require dedication, planning, and self-motivation because you don't have a scheduled class time each week. You don't have any place to be, as you would in a face-to-face classroom. And the lack of dedicated time and space sometimes can make students feel isolated, especially if they're struggling with course materials or are beginning to fall behind. I want to see you be successful in L208 in health and literature. So before we even begin this course, I want you to consider whether or not an online course is the best option for you. Some students find that online courses work really well for them, and some students find that they need a face-to-face classroom. Either option is fine. If you're not sure if this is the right option, here's some questions I would suggest asking yourself. 1, am I on academic probation? 2, do I struggle with the computer technology necessary to complete an online course? 3, have I had trouble completing online courses in the past? Or 4, am I likely to forget or just lose steam for an online class, given all my other external responsibilities and other coursework? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then you should consider taking a face-to-face English class. And if that's the case, I'm more than happy to talk with you to find another face-to-face class that's going to serve your interests. Now, if you decided that an online course is a good option for you, here's some questions that I would suggest asking yourself as you plan for this semester because they can help you be more successful. 1, I would ask yourself, what days and times during the week will I be working on this class? Be very specific about the day and time you're going to be working on this course, and then write it in your calendar so that you have to do it. Most students who've successfully completed online courses have said that they need to set aside specific days and times each week to attend the class. That is, to watch the lectures, to do the discussion board posts, etc., etc. The second question that you need to ask yourself is, do you have ready access to a computer, internet, and printer each week? I don't count technology snafus as an excuse for late or missing assignments. Remember that if you do run into a snafu, there are computer labs on campus in case your own computer or printer isn't working. And also that it's your responsibility to get your computer working if you happen to have a technology problem. And then 3, I would ask, when are my assignments due? And how am I going to fit them into my other responsibilities? Oftentimes students struggle with finding time to write papers and to write discussion board posts. But I would write those into your calendar as well so that you know that you have time set aside, not only to complete the assignments for this course, but actually assignments for all of your courses. And then finally, this is advice I give to every single class. It's advice on how to be successful in college. Basically, 1, attend all classes. 2, plan out how much time you're going to devote to each class per week. And be honest with yourself about your other responsibilities and activities. If you work a 40-hour week, you might be too tired at the end of the night to work. So if you've slotted out midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning to work on this class, you may need to ask yourself if that's doable or if you're just going to be too tired. 3, ask your professor if you have a question or you don't understand something. We love working with students, and our job is to help answer questions. So ask us. 4, turn in your work on time, and if you need an extension, ask for it. 5, make a good faith effort in all of your assignments. As a professor, I can tell when my student, quote unquote, phones it in. That is, when my student puts in the least amount of effort possible. And then finally, if you start to get overwhelmed or fall behind, immediately contact your professor or the advising office for help. We're here to help. We want to make sure that you're successful. So the faster we can get you on track, the better. All right, thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions. And in our next lecture, we're going to be talking a little bit about how to closely read.